Well, that was me climbing again. I bet you can't guess where. I will give you a clue, though. It's one of the tallest towers in the world. And you can see how I got on later on in the programme.
Yeah, but first we thought you might like to know the latest news about our Val's clothes competition. Just take a look at this.
Well, since the competition closed last Thursday, we've had something like 30,000 entries, and it's been absolutely fantastic. You can imagine just how busy I've been sorting this lot out, and they really are marvellous, and we'll be telling you the winners and also showing you their designs on Thursday. But one thing that never seems to change, no matter what happens in the fashion world, and that's school uniforms, particularly the winter ones, which probably most people have just gone into. Actually, I think some of them are so hideous, you wonder how on earth they ever came to be designed in the first place. But the other day, we heard of a school that's very happy indeed with their winter uniform. They've got exactly what they want, and that's because they've chosen it themselves. They're the girls of the 5th form of Carlisle's Eden Comprehensive School, and this is what they've come up with.
And you can see they're still wearing their traditional blouses and school ties, but instead of the pullover and the skirt, they've chosen this rather very nice modern blue trouser suit. I think you all look gorgeous, girls. Hello.
Hello.
Well, come on down, let's have a chat. Now, Margaret, be good. Margaret, you started this, didn't you?
Yes.
Can you tell us how it all came into being?
All I had a pinafore at home,
Yeah.
and I took it to school, and we thought we'd like to have pinafores because we felt we were growing up and we wanted something different. So we got.
How did you add trousers to it then?
I bought trousers. to
And
go
so
with
you
it.
just added the trousers to the pinafore and you got the sort of trouser suit itself. Did you all make these?
No, the ones in the shops are too big for me, so I made my own. There was
And
3 girls in the farm that made
You made yours. How long did it take you to make?
Oh, just about a week.
That's not bad, is it?
No.
Now, Sylvie, you didn't make yours, did you?
No, I bought mine.
How much did yours cost?
£7.10.
And Helen, yours cost?
About £3.
£3, £7.10. I think there's a moral there somewhere. But you might think that these trouser suits are a bit hot during the summer, but Pam, for example, has taken her trousers off, and all she's got is just the pinafore, and it looks rather nice as that, just a sort of mini dress. But we could actually have a look at the old school uniform. So, Pauline, if you'll come in. And Pauline's got the old school uniform. You'll all recognise this. Apart from the blouse and the tie, you've got this sort of grey sweater and grey skirt and little white socks down there at the bottom. Pauline, do you like the old school uniform?
Yes, but I like the new one better.
But only the 5th form can wear the new trouser suit, though,
Yes,
isn't it?
that's correct.
Oh, so everybody's trying to get into the 5th. Well, I think they're gorgeous, actually, and thanks very much, girls, for coming along. I'm no fashion man myself, but I think they look super. I like the uniform. They're gorgeous, aren't they? What do you think, Pete?
I think they're great, Johnny. I think he was trying to make a joke then, but I didn't get it. We've had a lot of letters lately about that 150-million-year-old plesiosaur that I helped dig up in the London brickwork site near Peterborough a few weeks ago. Now, this is just his skeleton, of course, and in real life he looked something like this, with a tiny little head, a long droopy neck, and an enormous body. Of course, finding the plesiosaur's skeleton was a tremendous stroke of luck, something that only happens once in a lifetime, if you're lucky. But there are smaller fossils that are quite easy to find, and the other day, Val and I went down to the seaside for another hunt. There are many places in the British Isles where it's possible to find a good selection of fossils. The beach here at Warden on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent is one place where many varied fossils, some of them of animals 60 million years old, have been discovered. Well, the tide's right out at the moment, so we're hoping that we might find something interesting today.
Well, Pete and I aren't experts at identifying fossils, so we've brought along 5 very keen fossil hunters to help us, because they know a lot more about it than we do. We've got Petra and Patch to help as well, so we're hoping we'll find something, even if it's Petra finding a bit of useless old wood. Almost at once, Bronwyn spotted something.
Bronwyn, have you found something? Let's have a look. You know what it is?
It looked like a shell creature of some kind, but it was actually a piece of fossilized wood, part of a prehistoric tree 50 million years old.
The best place to look for fossils on a beach like this is along the sea line where the shingle starts. You have to have sharp eyes to pick out anything amongst the water and the different coloured stones. But the fossilized rocks, because they're much older and heavier than the rest, are darker in colour, and that's what we were looking for. Patch seemed very eager to help Mark as he searched in the small pools, but it was Mark's brother Francis who made the next discovery.
I think I found something.
show you.
This time it was a fossilised shellfish which we added to our growing collection. The ground here at Sheppey is what is known as London clay, and scientists have worked out that the fossilised material found here all comes from a period 50 to 60 million years ago. The children were all enjoying the hunt, and Andrew showed me how to wash the fossils clean so that we could see exactly what they were.
Okay, I'll hold on to that one.
It wasn't long before the tide started to creep in, and we had to retreat further up the beach. But just before the water covered it completely, I spotted something in the shingle that looked a bit different.
What is that?
It looks a bit like a crab.
It does, doesn't it? There's the shell.
Yes.
And these are the...
Yeah.
This was our best find so far, a very good fossil crab with the shell and the claws clearly visible. It was very exciting to know that it was so old and yet had been picked up in such good condition.
Hey, Val! Why aren't you working?
I was taking just a bit of time off with Anthony and Andrew to play with the dogs. Petra and Patch enjoyed splashing around in the water, although when the ball went out too far, neither of them was too keen on swimming after it.
Found something! Crab!
I didn't think we were going to be as lucky as Pete, but on the way back, we found something interesting too.
Hey, that's marvellous.
It was the head of a fish, completely formed in the stone with eyes and a row of teeth on each side.
By now, the tide was coming in very quickly. If you're searching on a beach like this, you have to be very careful not to get yourself stranded. There was no point in carrying on the search now because the water was almost up to the cliff edge. So we decided it was time to have a look at our collection.
One rotten shell, if I can find it.
What have you done? Oh, that's marvellous.
That crab.
We've got some things here, haven't we? You've got them, haven't you, Andrew? Some bits of wood.
Let's have a look what you've got, Andrew. Come round here and show me.
And we've got a fabulous fish's head,
Anthony.
Pete, look. And I've got a few shells.
Hey, that's nice.
There we are, we'll add this.
Super. Just put them down on there.
Come,
That's
come
it.
down here with
That's
us.
great.
The thing to remember, of course, is that fossils like these aren't valuable. You can't go out and sell them for money. But they do make a very interesting collection, and places like this beach here at Sheppey are a jolly good place to start looking for them.
Another important thing is that scientists are anxious to discover exactly what kind of creatures and plants existed all those millions of years ago. The only way they can do this is to have a note made of exactly where fossils are found. So if you go out hunting and you find anything, make a careful note exactly of where you find things. I think we've made a pretty good start to our collection.
Oh, we certainly have, and I think I like the fish's head the best of all because the eyes and the teeth show so very well.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite too. But after you've seen now what we managed to collect in just one day, perhaps you feel it's worthwhile to have a go yourself, see what you come up with.
The only thing is, if you are hunting along a beach and you come across anything that's metal, don't touch that. It can't possibly be a fossil, and you never know, it might just be an unexploded bomb.
Yeah, so don't take any chances. Well, whilst we've been delving back into the past, John's been taking a step into the future, and he's trying out a brand new invention.
Well, if you're wondering what we're doing in here, we are actually having an experiment in living. This is a retreat pod. It's been designed by Martin Dean, and I borrowed it actually from the Daily Telegraph exhibition that's on in London at the moment. Now, the idea of a retreat pod is you get to a point where you can't stand anything or anybody any longer, so you get inside, you shut the door, and you're in a beautifully quiet world. Very comfortable it is too. Now, when you've got sick and tired of this sort of silence, because you can't hear any noise from the outside world, you can have a bit of noise inside. There's an 8-track stereo. You can just switch it on, and you've got some very nice music to keep you going. When you're fed up of that, you can switch on a telly. There's a little telly set down here, and with a cassette, you just slip it in, it's a tape, and you've got a picture. when you're fed up with the picture or any television program that you want to put on, you can take out your little electronic camera. You can open the side door. You can stick your hand out and sort of see what's happening in the outside world. Let's have a look and see if I can find Val and Pete. Yes, there they are. Not very steady hand up there, but that's what's happening in the outside world. It's quite fun in here, but all the same, I'm not so much of a one for retreating. I'd rather be out doing something. And something I did the other week, which I enjoyed, was to nip across to France for a look round Paris. Well, I think it's one of the most exciting cities in the world, and it's less than an hour's flight from London Airport. Walking along the banks of the River Seine is a must for every tourist who visits Paris. But this game is normally only played by the French themselves. It's called boule, and I couldn't resist having a go myself. The idea is to throw your ball, called a boule, as close as you can to the little bowl, called a bouchon. It's quite thirsty work on a hot summer's day, but on every street corner in Paris there's a cafe, right on the pavement, and they serve the most delicious drinks. I had what they call an orange pressé, which is about 6 oranges all squeezed into a glass. You add sugar and water, and it's delicious. This is me on top of the Arc de Triomphe, the Triumphal Arch, which is one of the most famous monuments in Paris. It was built to commemorate all the great battles won by Napoleon. Of course, they don't mention Waterloo because he lost that one to the British. But the French are very proud of Napoleon, and all over Paris there are monuments erected in his honour. Do you remember this car? It's the only one of its type in the world. We showed a film of it on Blue Peter when it first came out. Now the inventor, Jean-Pierre Pontieux, is going to teach me how to drive it. There's only one snag. Jean-Pierre doesn't speak hardly any English, and I don't speak any French. So it should be an interesting drive. Bonjour, Jean-Pierre.
Bonjour.
Jean-Pierre, why did you build this car?
I built this car because I think it is the car of the future.
Yes. Now, what can it do that an ordinary car can't do?
Look.
Yeah? The whole car is electronically controlled. It descends completely, right. And one of its great features is the retractable legs. It can splay out all 4 wheels for travelling along the road, but if you have difficulty in parking, another flick of the switch will bring the legs together again, so you can drive into the narrowest space. Jean-Pierre, what else can it do? With a French flourish, Jean-Pierre invited me to climb into the cockpit of the auto module. It looked more like the flight deck of an aircraft. All the controls were completely different from any other car I'd ever seen.
Allons-y. Débrayez.
The clutch?
Oui. Allez.
I naturally thought we were going to drive forwards, so you can guess how I felt when we started to whirl round in circles.
Ah oui. Veuillez accélérer.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Oh, marvellous view.
Yes.
What a wonderful view you get. Very strange going round
Oui,
in the
oui.
circle. Will it go the other way now? L'autre
L'autre
way?
tour.